My name's Chris. This is my wife, Marla. We've been married together for 26 years, and we have been in church ministry for 20 plus years.
Chris and I both attended a small Saskatchewan Bible college and both felt a call of God to be ministers as young people right out of high school, and that call and urgency to make disciples and be trained well in order to do that really became our focus.
Well, our journey towards Established started because through some of our ministry experience, we had discipled people, but we really didn't know how we got there. And we were looking for a process that would systematize how we do discipleship multiplication to release people as early as possible to be competent in knowing the scripture and to pass that off in a culturally natural way for their communities.
So our church had the opportunity to travel to the community where they had the school shooting a number of years ago, and just had an opportunity to bless the pastors there as they were about to embark on a huge care for their community.
So these ministers had started to engage with Establish 1.0, the first version.
Yeah.
And that was our doorway in, because we saw the Bible being taught step by step from Genesis to the Gospels, and it was being contextualized. So much material we got as rural church pastors would come from mega churches or cities, and we'd have to do the work of interpreting it. And here was this contextualized content that could fit just about anywhere. And we fell in love with it. Established does a great job of asking people to engage the material with one base understanding. Are you willing to look at the Bible as a truth document? Focusing not on our needs or the heroes, the people, but what is the character and nature of God as our Creator? How did He design us to have a relationship with Him? And how are we supposed to respond to Him through His deliverer, His chosen deliverer, who is His Son, Jesus? Using that as our foundation and then building the rest of the Word on it step by step like you would build a house. Just by focusing in on God's character, we get a perspective of who He is. And then we can see how He really is sufficient and wants to bless and wants to have a relationship with us and wants to be merciful and is still a righteous judge. And He's holy, and He's almighty, and He's everywhere present. And a better grasp of those things, step by step, being revealed. And so if we can lay that out in a clear way that they can grasp it and understand it with a process that allows it to be practiced in their life and then shared with someone else, that's a win. Because people deeply love Jesus. They want to know how God has revealed Himself to us, and they want a way to share with someone else with confidence, whether in their family, to a neighbor over a cup of coffee, or a broader group of people who are all coming to ask the question, why should I follow your God?
And for new believers who want to obey Christ, they've tasted and seen that He's good, and they hear this command, go and make disciples, but then I don't have the tools. I don't know how, and I don't have a lot of biblical literacy. Established provides a framework for them to really just pick up and get going with discipleship. We've been running an established group in a local community, and one of the believers around the table studied to be a mainline minister years ago. And his comment after going through the lessons was, this is blowing me away. He said, when I was training to be a minister in my school, they taught me the denomination. They taught me how to be part of the denomination, but they didn't teach me the Bible. So we've been using the Who is God book in our local church experience. It starts us in the beginning, Genesis 1:1. Who is God? Why can we believe that the Bible is true?
It lays out in the truths, again, a visual that connects the people to the story, and then it has the scriptures that the truth is based on, that you can both go into the Bible and share together, and then reflection questions. And then the kicker, if you don't quite understand that truth, you take out your cell phone, you scan the QR code, and there's a video to further explain the truth that you've been exploring. As you engage a group of people, it allows them to be involved in their process. It's not just a lecture, it's a facilitation of knowledge around the table as equals, because we all stand equal at the foot of the cross.
And the confidence that comes to new believers, old believers, not yet believers, to understand the scriptures from the beginning begins to grow. And this whole idea of making disciples and going to my neighbor, going to my relations and telling them what I've been learning about who God is. And one of the beautiful things that we learn right from the beginning and establish is that God created humankind for relationship with Him.
And we've seen people engage with God's character and nature, a first-time revelation at one facet of the gem of who God is, and they are moved to a moment of awe and worship. And that is one of the most special moments to engage in. We're at a change of culture for the church, and we need a new methodology. And discipleship multiplication methods are going to be vital for the church to engage its many members, to take the message of the gospel outside of the church walls, and to share it with the people who are asking questions. We've all faced it. There's people we know who won't cross the threshold of a church, but they will come and sit over around a cup of coffee and listen to their neighbor that they trust and love. And we need to release those folks who desperately want to share the message of Jesus with a training that gives them confidence to know they are sharing the whole of the scripture and God's truth with their neighbor.